how you make your customers feel. That's what a brand is. It goes back to a feeling. The elements of your brand are, yes, your identity and your logo and your website. Those are elements of the brand. And, you know, the marketing and advertising. Those are elements of your brand. How you make someone feel is a brand. Like, I bet right now people still perhaps don't know completely your products and services, but they know you and they know your brand.
I'll wake up at 4 a.m., I'll wake up at 1 a.m. thinking about something, but it's a lifestyle. I aspire to the time where I'm not pushing that hard, I'm not working that hard, I'm not grinding that hard. And it's important to, have good people around you that you can trust and that can help grow the business. So I'm excited about getting into that phase.
So I think it's common. And then, the next 10 years is like, okay, I've built it. People know who I am. And now I'm going to start working towards, I'm going to step back a little bit slowly and I'm going to cherry pick the things that I enjoy doing.
Hello, and welcome to Amber Energy, the podcast. Join us as we discuss entrepreneurship, branding, and trending business topics. I'm your host, Amber Jacobs, and I have the experience of working for Fortune 500 as well as in-house for global companies, and have enjoyed the pleasure of being a part of some of the biggest design agencies in the world. I went full-time in my boutique virtual design firm and want to share those trials and tribulations with you. Let's get started.
Welcome to Amber Energy, the podcast, where you're going to learn a little bit about entrepreneurship, branding, education tips, and so much more. Today, I've got my guest, Dusty Hoerler with Craftsman Plumbing. Dusty, tell me a little bit about yourself, your business, and how we know each other.
Well, Amber, I was so blessed to meet you it was about 11 years ago, 12 years ago.
I think it was 15.
15 years ago. And you actually were the person who created my logo when I went into business. So, it was great. I think I was cutting the yard and you hollered across the street about borrowing my weed whacker. And we've been friends ever since. And it's just been a pleasure to work with you.
Yeah, I was just thinking, recollecting on why I had moved there. I was renting a room in UW area from a colleague, and then I decided I didn't want to live there no more, and I moved into that place off of Green Lake, across the street from you, in the Greenleaf area, off of, was that Roosevelt or 90th or something like that?
Yep.
And I moved there with 3 lady roommates in that new house, but it was a rental property. And I grew up in a place where you maintain your property. And this place had like dandelions that were bananas everywhere, weeds that were like chest high, and the place looked like shambles. And I was like wildly embarrassed to like drive home to it. So yeah, you were across the street. I didn't know who you were. And so I was like, hey, can I borrow your weed whacker? I want to like weed whack the front yard full of all of the bits. And so that sort of like launched us into being my new friend. And we launched into doing like different, coffee dates at, what was that place called? Cloud something. Cloud City Cafe up there in Greenleaf area. For our viewers, if you don't know where that is, that's between Green Lake and Northgate Mall, up on the hill there. And it was late 2009, early 2010 when I lived there and met Dusty. And it's been a fun road because we were neighbors and then turned client because I'm a graphic designer, and you started businesses. And then like I went off into my own business, doing my own thing, went full time. And then, you've done your things and I've done my things. And so it's been a fun like neighbor turned client turned colleague sort of relationship over the 15 years that we've known each other. And gosh, I just remember so many fun things. So like I remember when you wanted to run for state representative. And then I remember your time at Urban Yoga Spa while you were doing stuff there. So there's been some fun things. You remember that?
Urban Yoga Spa.
I love that place. And then I think we did yoga there one time, at least a couple times together.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So, good times there. Anyhow, so tell everybody a little bit about Craftsman Plumbing and what you do in Seattle.
Well, I started Craftsman Plumbing in 2014. I guess it was beginning.
Happy 10-year anniversary, yo.
Yep. March, I think it was March 14th of 2014. Started Craftsman Plumbing and have just steadily grown the company. It was the first few years, it was just me in the truck, taking calls and doing the work. And we've kind of slowly expanded over the years to
Wow.
a team of 6 now. And we've got 4 trucks in the field, myself managing operations, and then a call taker, CSR, client manager as well.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch you grow your business over those last 10 years. I think it's just normal in business. You have like your highs and lows, right? So like I remember like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start a business. And then you have like, oh shit, I just got robbed. And then like, yay, everything's going well. And then like, oh shit, things happen. And like I think that's just normal because like here I am hitting my 8-year mark of being full-time in Amber Design. And it's like, yay, I'm gonna start my own business. And then always something happens. And then always with the ebbs and flows of the economy too. So I remember, one of your lulls, and I remember Nolan and I met you out on a coffee date, and you're like, bro, like I might not make it. And I'm like, crap. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit more about like that sort of ebb to your business and like what you did to come out of it?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I sort of loaded it a little bit, but it's good for you.
It is.
Love you, Dusty.
I think anytime you start a business and you have that undertaking, there's going to be like ups and downs. There's going to be like good times. There's going to be days where you're like, why am I doing this? I don't know. I really don't know why I'm doing this. And you'll actually be like, I don't want to do this. And there's days where things are going well, and it's very rewarding, and having an opportunity to mentor people and serve your clients well. And some of my proudest moments are when clients, call and they're just glowing about the work that we did. And, that makes me feel really, really great. But I think it's, it's one of the things that I've learned over time, and I'm still learning this, is that it's important to kind of meter your enthusiasm and also meter your when it feels like the floor is falling out, you have to step back and say it's going to be okay, right? Like kind of straightening out that curve. I heard this. I don't remember where I heard this, but I think it was like a day trader that I was following, and he mentioned that he would when he had a really rough day, he would go out and buy like a really good steak dinner, and then when he had like a really good day, he would go to the budget place, and get a burger and fries, and I think that it's important to have these kind of exercises that we do as business owners to kind of meter the ups and downs, because the ups and downs are difficult. It can feel so amazing, and then 2 weeks later, you just like everything drops. So,
That's
and then
so
the
true.
other thing I would say is that I think it's really easy when you go through really, really difficult times to kind of circle the wagons. And, I know I do this. I'll be like, okay, we're not spending any money. Okay. We're not doing training. We're like cutting all the costs. We're going to go down to the bare minimum, and we got to get our revenue back up.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to mentally kind of shift gears and say, okay, we've gone through this difficult time, but I still need to invest in my people. I still need to invest in structure. I still need to invest in advertising.
Yeah, training.
Being able to switch training, to be able to switch kind of out of those modes, like conservation, like circle the wagons. We're gonna survive this, to okay, we're gonna push on the gas and we're gonna go into growth mode. Metering those different phases and knowing when is the time to switch gears is really important and critical, and something I'm practicing and getting better at, and learning how to be better at all the time.
Yeah, I think that's one thing you do as you get older, you mature, you kind of get better at business, better at relationships, better at conversation, difficult conversations. You get better at those metering yourself, like the good days and the bad days, and like the sky is falling and I can't do anything right, versus the no, it's the best day ever and I just want a back contract and yippee, like those like extremes, right? Metering the extremes and the highs and the lows of the business. And like I think what you're right, like throttling between the two, knowing when to throttle and push forward, or know when to like, okay, let's back off. But like you said before, like not completely like circling the wagons and like, that's it, close it down, no more spending, stop everything. No, because, if you want to keep doing this, right? So like, you've been doing this now for 10 years and as we know, you've worked for other people, you've worked for the union, you've been a pipe fitter out there, what the Seattle market's like. And it's like, I think, like me, I've also worked for other agencies and now I own my own agency, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but like I couldn't imagine probably now going to work for somebody else at this point. Now that I'm perhaps hitting my stride, almost 10 years in business, and like the idea of like going to maybe perhaps work for somebody else doesn't sound overly appealing either. I don't know how you feel about that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, there's days that it does.
I know.
Days it doesn't. So
that's okay. That's fair. True story, Dusty. You're right.
I'm like, I just want to like
the responsibility of the business.
At 4:00 and just go home and do some yard work and not think about anything else.
I know, it's so true. Like to clock in and clock out and like not have to worry about the finances or not have to worry about the bits of the business that's outside your purview of doing the work.
Right.
Like, yes, operations and marketing and all the other things, HR and all the other things you have to manage as an owner of a small business.
It's a lot.
And I think your wheels are constantly churning. I think as a business owner, you're like, okay, today I'm doing the business. And then tomorrow, okay, I got to worry about operations of HR and paying bills and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then, okay, call center one day. And okay, customer service problem. And okay, now I got to manage a team and a work back schedule. And what was that bid? And then like, oh yeah, business development while you're at it. And then, oh yeah, marketing and a billboard and a thing and another thing. And I feel like your brain's just like constantly churning over a million to-do lists as a business owner, trying to make it all work.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Why do we do this again?
I'm like, you're right. Yeah, no, I do all that stuff and I think about it all the time. And, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. I'll wake up at 1 a.m. thinking about something, and, but it's a lifestyle, and it's, I aspire to the time where I'm not pushing that hard. I'm not working that hard. I'm not grinding that hard. And it's important to, have good people around you that you can trust and that can help grow the business. So I'm excited about getting into that phase.
Yeah, I think that's an important phase that you're in. Like right now, you're in like the growth phase, like building and establishing phase. And, then hopefully then there's like, okay, we're established. Okay, we no longer are like building and like building your empire, right? Like you're building your reputation in Seattle right now. And then it's like, okay, I got the rep. People know who I am, finally. And then it's like, okay, now we're going to maintain the biz of like, okay, let's just maintain, grow, sustain, maintain, grow, evolve, do it really well is like your next 10 years. And then like your 30-year mark is like, all right, buddy, what can we do to sell this sucker? Or like, what can we do to like, so I can exit and like not be a part of the daily grind? Do I need a general manager? Do I need someone to help manage the shop? Or, what else, what's that next evolution of it? So that way one day, you don't have to be at the helm grinding every day in the trenches. You've been in the trenches, and what can a little bit lighter trenches look like? And pass that baton off, or find the employee-owned company and be able to have an employees maybe buy you out, or what does that next evolution of your business look like? That is not Dusty, in the grind doing the bits for, because you've been doing it for hopefully 20 years by that point. So what's the next bits, and like, what does that look like and how do you get there? But I think it's just a normal evolution of like building a business, building an empire, and then like, okay, now do we want to have grow more? You want more locations, more trucks? Like, what are we doing here? And then sort of like, okay, we've built this wonderful, amazing thing. Now, what's our exit strategy? What does that look like over the next 30 to 40 years? As you enter into the hopeful retirement age where you can travel and do pet projects and passion projects and do all the fun things that you hope to get to do because you sacrificed a lot to run a business and build your empire, right? I think that's perhaps, I don't want to put words in your mouth. That's my goal, right? That's I've been at the grind for 10 years and then it's like, okay, I want to like build it and evolve it, make it even more better over the next 10 years. And then what's my exit strategy towards my hopeful retirement days of much more travel? That's what my goal is. I don't know what your goal is, Dusty, but that's my goal. I don't want to be doing this shit forever. I intend to build an empire and do the thing and then like find somebody who hopefully want to take this darn thing over, or I've had a good ride and I'll sunset Amber Design. I don't know what that looks like. Well, with that being said, do you have any fun, you mentioned that obviously, you've been doing this now in Seattle market for 10 years. And, what would be maybe your top, I don't know, 5 things as far as like marketing or like how you've established your brand in the Seattle industry to be the reputable name and brand go-to plumber in the Seattle area?
Yeah, I think, I think constantly building our reputation with our clients or existing clients. When I look at the calls that come in on like a monthly basis, the second highest kind of source of our call volume is referrals. So that's people that were happy with our services and were happy with the work that we did. They were happy with the way that we treated them, and they referred their friends and family. So that makes me feel really, really great. That's a really strong foundation for the business to be on. Mm-hmm. And then also taking that kind of to the next step and saying, okay, how do we grow the brand in a way that communicates that, tells that story, mm-hmm. Digitally in the digital sphere. So Google Maps, Map Pack, business profile, stuff like that. And we're constantly working on building that out, creating more visibility, so that our clients can see us and they can hear our story. Because you can have a great story, but if you don't have a great microphone or a way to tell that story to the public, mm-hmm. they don't connect with you. So we're constantly working on how do we tell our story and how do we connect with our clientele.
Yeah, I think that's obviously, first and foremost, very important with your business, right? I think, obviously having one piece of your brand is just the logo. One piece of your brand is the website. One piece of these things is the brand. But how I was talking earlier today to a colleague was it's really about a brand is how a brand makes you feel when you think about a brand, right? So like we think of big brands like Apple or Nike. We all know what they sell, but we really cling on to how they make us feel. And they all have rally cries, visions around things that we can all rally behind. Apple's vision statement is think big, and Nike's is just do it, right? McDonald's is I'm loving it. Harley Davidson is ride free. Those are all rally cries that everybody wants to be a part of. And I think that's one thing that's really important for a brand is how a brand makes you feel, right? So when someone calls you, Dusty, on a referral, they already have trust in you. They trust you to do a good job and do it well and right the first time, right? That's what makes part one of a good brand, how they make you feel, how you look, right? So trust also has to do with your branding, right? So you've chosen a classic timeless logo. You also have, what's his name? No mansplaining. Mueller? I think his name's Mueller. Yep. Remember that sketch? Yeah. So that sketch that you got and you named him Mueller, right? So you've got Mueller, who's like a happy, approachable, friendly tradesman that's going to come in and like be an awesome, representative of your brand and of your company for that customer experience that you're hoping to give to those people, right? So it's like when a technician comes to someone's house, you want that homeowner to feel like, okay, yep, I've hired the right people. They're trusted, they're valued. They're going to put their slippers on, and they're going to respect my home and me and get this job done efficiently, well, and quickly as possible. And for, the right amount of rate. And then you're going to do the things, right? You're going to follow up. You're going to send them a bill. You're going to follow up. You're going to send them a thank you card. It's the entire customer experience that I know you do for your clients, right? Your customers. Yep. I know that you send thank you cards, right? So I know that you do this, right? So that's all a part of the customer experience, that when you hire Craftsman Plumbing, that technician, there's no mansplaining. They're going to do you right, and they're going to do you well, and they're not going to, jerk you around, right? So I think that's all part of your brand. Your brand is not just the logo or the website, or not just the billboard, or not just the PPC click ads. It's the experience as soon as you come, as soon as you pick up the phone, as soon as you book them, as soon as you come to their door, how you handle the business in their home or residence or commercial property. And then after the call, what did you do with them, or how did you work with them? How did you accept payment, or how, that thank you card, or that ask for that referral or that review, right? So that's that whole complete customer journey that someone feels good about. Like, wow, Dusty and Craftsman Plumbing gave me white glove service. That's rad. Heck yeah, I'm going to refer that outfit again. I'm going to tell all my neighbors about it, and then some, because gosh darn it, I want that experience not only for me again, but all my friends and family too. And I think that's that brand awareness that you're trying to build with that business. And I think that's obviously what you have done so far so good in Seattle, because look, you have a brick and mortar now, which is something that you didn't have 6 years ago, right? When did you get your place down in Shilshole?
Let's see. We've been here for about 4 years.
Yeah. Okay. I was about right. You've also you got the place down there, which is like, your dream of having a brick and mortar someday and getting it out of your front lawn, getting it off, what was that, 91st?
Yep. All the trucks are parked on the street, and it was hard. We got broken into. I mean, it was like 6 times. And
was it really that many? I only remember the once or twice that you told me about. You're like, I can't stand it. You were parking your trucks back to back.
Yeah. Yep. So people couldn't because I want to, if they break in, I need to wake up, right? And it's gonna go down, and because I slept through like 3 of the break-ins. It's like wee hours in the morning, and
mother of pearl.
So anyway, it's good for my stress levels to have all the trucks here at the shop. They're all secure.
All locked up and secure. It's a security system. Yeah, I bet your insurance is a lot happier too.
Indeed.
Insurance is much happier that they're locked up and secure with all your tools and all your all your things, right? So so now you get a place in Shilshole. You're right there in Ballard. Tell everybody about your about what your new advertisement placement. Where is it going? It's a pretty big deal for you.
Yeah, so we have a billboard for the first time, which is right by the Ballard.
Has it gone out yet? Or is it up?
Yeah, it went up June 10th.
Woo!
So it's been up for a while, and it's going to be up for a few more weeks.
Where's its location?
Sure. What's that?
Where's its location? Remind me.
It's right off the Ballard Bridge.
Oh, that's a good spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot, great location. It was great to work with the folks at Lamar. They're a national billboard company.
Yeah, they are.
And they've been great to work with. So excited to see where that goes. We might do another one and kind of move them around town. I'm just not quite sure how that's going to develop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting thing. It's definitely that we were talking in our discovery call about that sort of local gradations as another key thing that you've been working on as a business owner in the Seattle area. Is that was connecting with other businesses in the area, getting involved in the community, nonprofits, various bits that you've been a part of, but also that sort of that local gradation is not only being a part of top 10 plumbers in Seattle, it's also oh my gosh, they're so legit. They have a billboard in Seattle. That's the next level of gradations I think that you've been working towards, right? So maybe name a couple other gradations that you've kind of been working on for everybody.
let's see, we sponsored we were a sponsor of the Seattle Storm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
WNBA team for 3 years. It was a great experience.
I remember that. You had it on their truck for a little while. You got to put their logo on your bits.
Yep. It was on our truck, and our logos were up at the games.
So cool.
We did a couple promotional in-game things with them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did you do like an ad? Did you do like a video? I think I remember you sending me like a video ad.
Yeah, there was we did some we actually shot a couple TV ads with one of the.
Yeah, I thought so. I think I remember seeing one. That was like a few years ago, yeah?
Yep. I think we ran the last one last summer. We had a contract with the Storm, and then we also had a contract with the player. So we were able to use both of those in our advertising, and it was a great experience.
That's
at
super
the end
cool.
of the day, after 3 years, the ROI just wasn't there. So we had to explore some other things, but maybe we'll come back to it someday. Just time will tell.
It's good to keep trying new things. You did that for 3 years, and maybe you'll do, I don't know, maybe a board at the Kraken down on their rink is a better location, or gets more visibility. I don't know. Like, you'll figure it out. Like, you are really creative in coming up with various areas to be a part of. I think, you're on the right track with like a nonprofit I think you're working with, or, you could also, as you've been a Washington state representative, running person, you know how to get involved in your community. I think being, if you can be a part of like the chambers, the Ballard chambers, or be a part of, I don't know, the city council or something. It's always something to get your butt involved. Obviously, as a business, when you're like, yeah, just one more thing to my list. You're like, yeah, Amber, it's a good idea.
I think what it boils down to is really tracking like where's the best ROI, and if we know where the calls are coming from, we can tell like, hey, if this is working, if we're getting an X factor on this type of thing, then we can take that budget and put more towards it and make the phone ring. I mean, it's all about customer contact and being front of mind. So we're constantly watching that and working to develop that and maximize that, and be the best at telling our story as we possibly can.
Yeah, I like your new sort of like running social media campaign of like you reading a testimony. I think has been really valuable and powerful. Like a, hey, Dusty,
yeah,
we got a new review. Me personally, I've been kind of enjoying you reading those because it's fun to see you finally go on camera. I think that's one thing as a business owner, you tend to sort of perhaps shy away from the camera. But whomever is running your bits right now is definitely forcing you to be on set a little bit more, which for me, as your friend now, has been entertaining to say the least. But I know you so well. I've known you for 15 years. So I'm like, oh, Dusty's getting on set now.
Yep. Well, wait, we've got some, we're rolling out another aspect of that.
Oh, yeah?
Where we are like, it's like Friday. It's like food on Fridays. So tacos on Fridays, burgers on Fridays. So you'll be
What do you mean? Like, you're going to like.
So we go out to a local eatery here in the neighborhood or in town. We eat the food. Usually it's a group of at least 2 of us or maybe 3 of us. And something kind of fun we do to celebrate Friday and getting through the week. And then we're filming it and then highlighting that local business in kind of business to business advertising.
I think that's a good round robin of community relationships.
Totally.
Because like that's a really great way of community, right? Community and networking, and like if you do good, I do good, we all rise together idea.
Yep. Like
you win, I win, we win together. And I think that's a great business mentality to have with people, honestly. Like I think that's probably why I value, not probably, that's a dumb thing to say, but I value very much my colleagues and clients and friendships and partnerships and relationships I value them very, very much. And I genuinely want to reconnect or catch back up, or I genuinely want to write things down because I want to remember your dog's name. I want to remember, I don't know, your wife's name, your whatever's name. Like I genuinely care because I want to remember it. And I think that is one thing that will definitely set you apart as a business owner, is by, genuinely building those types of partnerships and relationships in your community. So I think that's a really, really cool. I might have to steal that idea because that's super rad.
Well, I think you touched on something that's really key, and it's the genuine part. And that's our goal. And as we shoot and produce these little spots, is like kind of, having a real genuine experience with the plumbing team and what we do to celebrate each other and celebrate success and celebrate hard work. And that's really fun. It's really fun to be able to do that and to be able to use it actually in our marketing scheme as well.
Well, I think that's one thing, as I think good business owners, and I think a lot of businesses have gotten away from this, is that valuing their employees, not seeing them as just labor persons that make them money or business. I think for some reason, whether it be tech giants, big companies, they've their employees become a number, and they're just a number on a chart, and how much they can produce is what's more important. And if you're not producing, then you're out, or whatever that is. Like it's profit over people. And I think that's one thing that I think business has got it wrong right now. I think at the end of the day, it's all about people. People make business better. If your people are happy working for you and your business, then they're going to do better jobs out in the field, and they're going to do better work for your customers in the field. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about people, relationships. If you show obviously that you value your customer or value your client, your employees just as much as your customers, well, of course they've got your back. Of course they're willing to go the extra mile. And obviously, if you're team building and camaraderie together, shoulder to shoulder in the trenches, that's how you build good leadership. And if you have good leadership, then they're going to work harder for you. And they're going to be willing to work a little bit extra on a bit because they know that, you're in the trenches with them too. And I think that's also what shows good leadership. And that's why you can build a team the way you have it. That's just my opinion on it. But what are your thoughts on that idea?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's having a team that's bought into the vision and truly buys into what it is that we're providing. And we've done quite a bit of work on this, and it's a value based. Like one of our values to our clients is we're never going to sell them something that they don't need, and that's our commitment to our clients. And we, as employees of the company, have all bought into that value. And when we talk about it to our clients or each other, it's a very genuine conversation. And I believe that the consumer, especially today with as much media and video that we're I don't want to say subjected to, but it's just out there, right? And we as humans have gotten really good at noticing, and we crave genuineness.
Very much so.
And I think that having true, genuine relationships as you're building the foundations of a business and expanding beyond the foundation, incorporating that genuine spirit is very critical to growth and longevity.
Yeah.
And relationships.
I couldn't agree more. I remember one of your first ads being your headline being capable and honest. And you ran with that for years, because I think that's one thing, as you know, is sort of lacking in your industry, or maybe perhaps in the trades industry altogether. This idea of being, I'm capable, but honest. I'm not going to, like you said before, I'm not going to sell you something you don't need, or I'm not going to tell you you need something that you really don't need, or I'm not going to try to sell you this big fat plumbing project or whatever if it's a $2 check project. Like, I think that comes down to the honest, trustworthy, genuine values that I think you're talking about. I think at the end of the day, obviously, as you know, and it's obviously worked pretty well in the last 10 years, but I think that's obviously what builds good business is that genuine, honest, capable, everyday guy that everybody wants to, have a drink afterwards. Hey, let's go. Here's a beer. Let's go have a beer together. Thanks for all your hard work. Let's go have a drink. And someone you'd actually want to go have a drink with.
Yeah, just after we're done plumbing, we can have a drink.
I know. All right, can we go have an Amber after this?
After the trucks are parked, okay?
Oh, for sure. Of course, Dusty. Come on, man. Come on. Never on this job site. Never, ever.
Right.
That's a liability issue and a half. No, of course not. So that is a big OSHA no, don't do that. Anyhow, so yeah, I remember that being one of your first ads. Also, along with a really good ad of, is your porcelain ready for the holiday season? Don't forget that line.
Oh, this is great. It's bringing me back to all that. You mentioned our thank you cards earlier, and I believe
I just like that ad. I remember drawing that ad for you. Is your porcelain ready for holiday company? We put that in a magazine spread. It was so good though.
Yeah. I think that was in The Stranger.
With the Christmas Moiler, I put a Christmas hat on Mueller.
Yep.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was great. It was a
That was in
classic.
The Stranger?
It was in The Stranger. Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. That was a good one.
No, The Stranger doesn't. I don't believe it's in print anymore.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it might have
No, come on.
Like a buy.
The Stranger can't be gone.
Yeah.
No way.
Right. Times change.
Well, I know that, but like for real, I thought for sure they'd be a stronger magazine than that.
Remember the I Saw Yous in The Stranger?
Oh my god. Oh no, The Stranger's an online publication, but you're right. Perhaps I don't know if it's still printed.
Yeah, I don't know if they print anymore.
We'll have to look into that. Well, we'll have to take that one offline to see if The Stranger is still in print. I know that I'm on their website right now. I don't know if they're in print though. Fascinating. Anyhow, okay, so yes, back to the thank you cards. Not only did I think I did a thank you card that was like print, like in your brand colors, but I think like 4 years ago, we did a different version for Print Month.
Oh yeah. We still have those. So we send those out during June. We send as the rainbow. The craft.
Your logo in a rainbow. Yeah, I haven't looked at those in a little while, but I believe you're still using them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's another thing I think. That is a good touch point, and that's about that customer experience, right? That full, complete customer experience from end to end customer journey experience, and while you're going to have while you're going to have a successful business is that customer experience. Again, going back to that, how you make your customers feel. That's what a brand is. Goes back to a feeling. The elements of your brand are, yes, your identity and your logo and your website. Those are elements of the brand. And the marketing and advertising. Those are elements of your brand. But how you make someone feel is a brand.
It is. So
because it doesn't matter your products or service, right? Like I bet right now people still perhaps don't know completely your products and services, but they know you and they know your brand. And they don't have to know all of your services to know your brand.
Yep.
Like Nike, for example, has like 1 million shoes and now apparel and this and that and da. But they just focus on really good athletes and really good sports. And the rest just comes. Like, of course, you're going to buy their shoes because it's how you make them feel. People love good athletes. They love rallying behind good sports. Same thing with Apple. People don't care about the products. They just like that they got really cool, innovative technology. And they think big and they think innovation. And people don't really give a shit about the products. Maybe they're not the best products, but people like the way they feel when they use those products and how Apple makes them feel about thinking big, thinking innovation. Same thing with Harley Davidson. Everybody wants a Harley, baby. You want a Harley. I want a Harley because I want to ride free, baby. I want to go fast. Woo! I want to go fast with the wind in my hair, wind in my beard. And I want to go fast. I want to be free. And because that's what I want a Harley. I want really loud exhaust. That's what I want when
someday.
Right? So those are those someday things, right? Like I wish I had the money just to go, buy a Harley, right? That sounds like a lot of fun. But for now, we're going to have to run around in like a Honda Shadow or something.
Exactly.
Or what are you driving around right now?
I've got a couple old vintage BMWs that don't
Oh,
run.
that's right.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
they're still
still have
badass
enough
though.
time to work on them, so they need some love.
Aw. Well, someday you'll have more time for it. Like you'll hire a really good foreman or a really good GM, and then you'll find some pastime to go, work on those, do some more hunting, do some more hiking, camping, right?
Yep.
Or whatever else Dusty likes to do. Yoga, spa
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Do you have anything else you want to promote about your business?
I don't think so. I think that you just said it really well. It's about the customer experience, right? And
Yeah.
and that's what we're focused on, is creating an amazing customer experience from start to finish. And that's our goal, to replicate that as much and as often as we can.
I think that's winning right there. Yeah, I think that is also one thing I really focus on in my business. I really care about, when they come in, how I handle them as far as like my customer experience, sending them in a proposal and estimate, doing the big work with them, and then how I wrap it up, right? So I want to make sure that they get a brand box. I want to make sure they get a brand box and a thank you card. I want to make sure that, that they had a good experience, because I care and I matter, and like, how can I make it right? Because your success is my success. And I want to make sure that you enjoyed your logo experience, that you enjoyed your marketing experience while working with Amber Design and me and my team. Because, well, if you don't, then you're going to tell your friends that you hate me. Or if you don't, I'm not going to get that referral business. So obviously, I care about what you say about me and my brand and my business, because your reputation is really your bond.
Totally. Can we bring it full circle, and I'll just talk a little bit about the process with you developing the brand. So,
well, no. God. Okay,
no.
fine. Okay, fine. Go for it.
So that was one of the things I really appreciated about working with you, like right off the bat, and it was so organic. Your notebook, So we would sit down, we'd have coffee at the coffee shop, Cloud City, probably Cloud City.
It was probably Cloud City most of the time. About that time, I was living though in Linwood.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we'd sit down and have coffee, and you would just show me like your brainstorming, and I would be like, yeah, let's kind of go this direction, and then you would come back, and I think actually those original notebooks are on your website.
They are. Yeah, those original sketches and directions. We thought for a while, because you chose the word Craftsman, which obviously is a big brand in itself.
Yep.
And obviously they are a serif or a sans serif font, and they are red. And I was like, Dusty, this name has got a problem.
Yeah.
So we have to stay as far away from red and serifs or sans serifs as much as possible, because you don't want to cease and desist letter.
Yeah. And fortunately it never, that never happened. Although there was my trademark attorney was concerned about it too, but
yeah,
and it was a different enough, thanks to your skill and ability.
I was like, I don't want you to get a cease and desist letter, so we cannot do anything like that.
And I think, if I go back to that time, I think I was looking at another name as well, which was Reliant.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
I'm so glad I went with Craftsman. It just, it's like when you look back on something and in the past tense, and it's like, an arduous decision in the moment. When you look back, in hindsight, it's like a perfectly written novel. So it was always the right name, and it
felt right
to be the right logo too. So thank you for that.
I remember coming up with ideas though, and I was like, oh my God, there's too much tools, or there's too much whatever, because it's Craftsman tools, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And all of a sudden I remember that I write in cursive for my audience. Like I write broken cursive is what I write in. And I had written Craftsman Plumbing on like the side of my notebook, like as like a footnote or something. And you all of a sudden were like, hey, what's that little thing down there? And I was like, I don't know. I just wrote your brand. I just wrote your name. And he's like, well, I think I like that. And I was like, well, it's Dusty. It's just my handwriting. And you're like, no, for real. I was like, oh, for goodness sakes. So anyhow, Dusty's logo actually has a little bit of my cursive. I actually vectorized my cursive and then zhuzhed it with using a faucet and
Yeah.
some drips and some various bits. And we explored the brand. I think at one point we had like a swoosh for Craftsman Plumbing, almost like a baseball logo,
Yep.
for a quick moment. And we looked at a bunch of different things, and then
It's a little too much.
it was too much. And so then we looked at a bunch of different things and finally landed on Craftsman Plumbing as like this vintage font vibe script font with a very professional plumbing kind of tucked underneath a curved version of your logo, which I think is very successful, as a timeless classic vintage feel to it that sort of lays into the, sort of that genuine, classic, genuine, old time vintage timeless feel that I think you and a lot of your customers connect with as like sort of the base of your brand, which is the foundational piece of your logo. And I think that's probably what people connect with. And then, then when it got to transpire into all parts of your brand, from your business cards and thank you cards and website and marketing, but then also I think eventually you want to do like a neon sign with like the drip, 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 drip neon sign.
Neon sign, yep.
God, someday, right? You have this massive neon sign with like the dripping Craftsman Plumbing logo, which will be super badass someday.
I want the drip to go down and then it lights up, and then it starts over. Drip, drip.
So
drip.
good someday. But obviously, as we know, neon signs are not going to be very cheap.
Yeah.
But it could be cool, right?
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
All right. Any other big things that you're launching or big changes or like things you're hoping to succeed in your business over the next 10 years? So like, have you been in business for 10 years? What are some of those big goals you're going to try to do for your next 10?
I mean, gosh, the next 10, I want to be, I hope that in 10 years, my goal in 10 years is to be less involved with day-to-day operations and more involved with training leadership, mentoring, working on kind of the vision and the path and charting out where we're going, how we're going to get there, and not as involved with day-to-day operational.
More of like a CEO visionary. Cherry pick the fun parts, maybe community outreach. I think you're obviously really good at that. Mr. I want to be a Washington state representative kind of guy. Kissing babies, shaking hands. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's interesting. I have never really wanted to be the face of the company. And so it's been hard. It was hard for me to kind of sign off on this social media stuff that's so focused on me. I've specifically not been in the commercials. I just never wanted to be like the face of the company. But I'm enjoying it. I'm actually the social media stuff has been a lot of fun.
Well, it's your baby. It's your business. And I think it's common for businesses when they're young and just starting out at, their 10-year mark to be, it's you. It's your face. It's your business. You're coming. At the end of the day, when customer service has got a problem, it's you, baby. You're on the phone. It's your problem, sir. So I think it's common. And then, the next 10 years is like, okay, I've built it. People know who I am. And now I'm going to start working towards, I'm going to step back a little bit slowly and I'm going to cherry pick the things that I enjoy doing. And I'm going to find a foreman or a director or a manager or somebody that takes care of the things that I don't do as well or don't want to do as much, which is something I know I'm working on in my business. I really want to stay in my lane and do the things that I like to do, but I don't really like cold calling and biz dev, so I'm going to hire that out. I don't really like bookkeeping and doing that kind of stuff. I'm going to hire that out. So that way I can focus on doing really, really good design work and really, really good warming. I'm going to be in the community more. I'm going to be networking more. I want to be out shaking hands and kissing babies, right? So I don't want to be doing the things I don't want to do as much, like cold calling or doing this bookkeeping, because I'd be bald like you.
That's why I'm bald, Amber.
Is that what it is?
Secret's out.
Is that why your head's? Is that my future if I keep this up?
Done this to me.
Let me just make sure I give you some really good mop and glow. Well, your beard is so groomly done there. So it's moved from your head up down to your beard. It looks really nice.
Right. Well.
Hey, at least it's not white. Your beard is still colored.
Still colored. Yep. I'm hanging on, and it's not fake. All natural.
So you must be doing something all right. See? All right. Well, Thank you, Dusty, for another great episode. It's been a wonderful conversation. I've really enjoyed our 15 years of friendship, our neighborly friendship turned client, turned now more colleague and friendship, which has been a fun journey over these last 15 years. So thank you for that. And thank you for being a guest on Amber Energy, the podcast.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's been awesome knowing you all these years, and it's just been fantastic to work with you. And I'm really excited to see you succeed and grow your business.
Thank you so much, Dusty. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Amber Energy, the podcast. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.